Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rebecca Adehill Show. I hope that you are having the most magical start to your week. This week, I am bringing you a very short, sharp, and effective episode as I am going to share with you how you very easily can create a $1 million coaching business. And the first thing I want to share with you, I actually want to take you back to when I first started my coaching business. And I launched my coaching business very organically in the middle of COVID. So for those that don't know, I had a business prior to starting coaching, which was a business and marketing agency specifically for fitness franchises. And we had a very financially healthy company, and it was growing very beautifully over a 5-year period. However, as COVID happened and all of the gyms shut, our company declined 95% in revenue overnight. So I knew that I had to pivot. And before I actually had the answer of stepping into coaching, I just started to share my journey online and what I was navigating, what I was seeing, what business owners were doing, and who was pivoting really well and what companies were struggling, why they were struggling, and also my own unique perspective on how I was personally navigating such big decrease in revenue overnight. From that point, I would have one person reach out to me in DMs and go, Rebecca, I've lost my job due to COVID. Do you think you can help me get my new business off the ground? And then I had another person reach out and another person and another person. And all of a sudden, I had an abundance of private clients come into my world, like very organically. And then I ran into a problem that I like to call a high quality problem, is that I had a scalability issue. So essentially, my books were full with one-on-one clients, and I knew it was time to launch my first ever group program. So the structure of this group program and also the intention that I set for the next chapter in my business is what I'm going to share with you today. And I have no doubt that this structure helped me reach $1 million very quickly because it is that effective. It's called the 5-1 method, and essentially it is an ascension business model. I'm going to take you through each one of those 5 steps so that you can go and create this for yourself. Now, if you already have an existing business model and you haven't reached $1 million yet, I am going to take a wild guess that is probably because, 1, you have too many offers right now and you are essentially speaking to everyone. You have too many offers in your offer suite and you are speaking to more than sort of one group of people, and that will really show up in a lack of conversion. So step number 1 in the 5-1 method is that I want you to create one offer, not multiple, one offer. I want you to get so specific on this one offer that will then offer, which is my second step, a tangible outcome. One offer with one specific tangible outcome. So the program that I launched was called the 6-Figure Women Program. And I just want to give a shout out to every single woman who came through that program. I love you. You are my OGs. And it was just such a beautiful time. And I still recall every single person who came through that program. And I am genuinely so grateful to have worked with so many women and helped them all get to 10K months. So the tangible outcome inside of my 6-Figure Women program was to help them reach 10K months. And I took them through the process that I had taken myself through of launching into a program, having a very effective marketing strategy and sales strategy that would then lead to a certain conversion. That was all I did. I had one program with one tangible outcome. I chose one specific platform, which is step number 3. I did not even focus on growing my email list. I did not have a podcast. I was not on YouTube. I only focused my efforts on Instagram. I did not even worry about Facebook, just Instagram. I picked one platform. So now we have one offer that had one tangible outcome. Mine specifically was helping women get to consistent 10K months. I chose one platform, which was Instagram, and I allowed myself to go like 7 layers deep in mastering Instagram, understanding what would drive leads and traffic to my DMs. I had a very specific sales strategy and everything was happening inside of my DMs. I also back then did sales calls. So I would jump on the phone with potential clients. So this is a very, very tight way of operating your business. There was so many times where I sort of got the shiny object syndrome where I wanted to launch something else and I wanted to start a new program because I felt inspired as I was growing. But I made a commitment, which is step number 4, that I focused on this one offer for an entire year. I did not promote anything else for an entire year. And here is the other cool part. Once they got to consistent 10K months, I then had a follow-on program from that, and that was called my Unleashed Mastermind. And also, if you were inside of that program, I love you so much. It was such a cool space as well. So all of the women, they got to consistent 10K months, they then qualified to join my Inner Circle Mastermind. And in this mastermind, they spent an entire year with me. So from going into a 3-month program, which was a structure in my 6-figure women program, I then transitioned them in to a higher tier program, which they had to qualify for. Pay attention to my language. They qualify to get to that 2nd tier program. I did not actively promote my mastermind. It was all a flow on or like an on-ramp program from my 6-figure women program. This really helped with my churn rate. It helped to build that healthy monthly recurring revenue. And it was also great from a client perspective because all of them, and it was so beautiful, it kind of became a bit of a healthy competition inside of my 6-figure women program because all of them really wanted to get to consistent 10K months. And when they were so close, they said, next month, I'm going to qualify to join Unleashed. Next month, I'm going to qualify. Next month, I'm going to qualify. That 2nd tier program almost sold itself because they all just really wanted to qualify. And if they didn't qualify, and I had very firm, guidelines and boundaries in terms of what that qualification process looked like, if I felt that they weren't quite ready to join that program, I would have them stay inside of the 6-figure women program for a longer period of time. And I would say things like, I don't think you're quite there yet. Maybe you need to stay inside of this program for 1 more month so that we can then scale once you're inside of Unleashed. So as much as the 6-figure women program was a 3-month program, it was a minimum 3-month program. So for the women that needed some extra time to get to that consistent 10K months, that was okay. They could just stay on the same weekly rate. And I used to charge $250 per week. So it was a minimum of $3,000. A $3,000 investment for them to come into that space, but that was the minimum. So they would stay on that weekly recurring payment week after week after week until they reached 10K months. Once they reached 10K months, they joined Unleashed, and that was a 12-month retainer. So slowly but surely, my monthly recurring revenue just started to grow and grow and grow and grow. And the last point that I want to mention here is that I committed to that for 1 year to reach $1 million. So I'm just going to recap this quickly before I go into, I just want to crunch some numbers with you and actually show you how simple it is to reach $1 million. And also I want to highlight on my point of honing in and focusing on promoting this one offer for an entire year. What I am seeing way too much at the moment in the coaching world is that people are just looking for these quick fixes and they're looking at next month and it's a very reactive energy versus buckling up and locking in for the next year and beyond. And when you can make that commitment to yourself, you're going to actually fall into this laser-like focus. You are going to stay so committed to your path instead of constantly sort of chopping and changing. And most people that chop and change, they will never reach $1 million because they haven't mastered patience. They have not mastered their ability to follow through on something that they've started. I would say that was, without a doubt, one of the biggest factors to my rapid expansion. And when I say rapid expansion, it took me years of having my business prior. There was a lot of work. I did a lot of sales calls, and I don't want to sugarcoat that process. I definitely put the hours in. I would coach people for free on Instagram Lives. I really went above and beyond. But now I have a multi-7-figure business because of the work, the foundational work I put in the beginning of starting my coaching business. So if you are in the beginning stages right now, or if you have an existing business but you are not getting the revenue that you want, I want you to take one offer, focus on one very specific, tangible outcome. And that can literally look like, what are the top 3 problems your clients are facing and what is the mirror solution to that? Take the top 3 problems, mirror that with the top 3 solutions. That is what you focus on. What is the tangible outcome? One offer, one tangible outcome, one platform. If LinkedIn is your platform, focus on LinkedIn. If Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever your platform is that you feel the most at home and also where your dream clients like to spend their time, is the platform you should choose. Now, I have the flexibility to be able to be on Instagram, to be able to have a podcast, to be on YouTube, to then have a very healthy email list that I can also communicate with as well. But I did not do all of those things in the beginning because I just wanted to have laser-like focus of really mastering one specific thing before I was spreading myself too thin. And then I want you to focus in and do that for one full year. And once you've done that for one full year, you will be so close to reaching $1 million. So now I'm going to break it down to you of how this can look financially, because sometimes when I do say $1 million, that will be a lot of money to a lot of people. But when I break it down into very specific, like tangible examples that you can really take with you, often that really helps for you to visually sort of see what that looks like for you. So to have $1 million business, you need to roughly make about $84,000 per month. So if we can sort of wrap our heads around that, $84,000 per month, that needs to be your monthly income if you want to have $1 million business per year, not just reach $1 million. Now I'm speaking within 12 months. That's $84,000 per year. Now my 6-figure women program the minimum investment was $3,000 for that program. So for instance, if now I take, and remember I had the flow on program after that as well. So I had my 6-figure women program that then flowed on to a mastermind. And the investment point for the mastermind was $12,000. So I had a $3,000 program for a minimum of 3 months. I then had a $12,000 program for 12 months. So for instance, if I then calculate that I want to reach $50,000 months with my first program, that is worth $3,000. I need 16 people per month that will pay me $3,000 as a minimum, mind you. Remember, some people, the average stay within that program was about 6 to 7 months. So almost doubled. So the average spend per client actually wasn't $3,000. It was close to $5,000 or $6,000 because they chose to stay on longer before converting to my mastermind. But if I only want to reach $50,000 per month with this one program, charging $3,000, I'm going to be very conservative with my numbers. You need 16 people per month. 16 people in the whole entire world. You need 16 people to reach $50,000 months. So now we have $34,000 as the gap to $84,000, which means that I only needed 3 people per month to join my mastermind, which is That was $12,000 per person, which actually takes us beyond. It takes us to $36,000. Can you see how simple this is? This is with nothing else. I needed one program that I was only promoting. I wasn't even promoting my mastermind. One program, one tangible outcome, one platform for 1 year, $1 million. I only need 16 people per month to reach $50,000 months. The rest of the 34, and out of those 16 people, I would have at least like 20% of those convert to my mastermind. That just sold itself. So the additional $34,000 that I needed, that just sold itself. Just a very casual $34,000, that will jump into my business. And as I had new people come in, the revenue just kept on building. Boom. And just like that, I had $1 million business. It gets to be that easy. It gets to be that effortless. And I think even my teachings and the way I teach all of my programs, whether you come into a course, whether you are listening to this podcast, or whether you're inside of a mastermind or working privately with me, I love simplicity. That I promise you that there are very easy, effective ways to get to $1 million. And what I'm noticing and what I'm seeing is that people try to make it more complicated than what it has to be. So just pause for a moment and ask yourself, what do I need to tweak? What do I need to change inside of my business to add a layer of simplicity so that I can very effectively reach $1 million? I also want to preference and highlight, I spent $0 on advertising. No paid advertising. This is only through organic marketing on Instagram. And that is it. So now when I'm making more than 6 figures per month, or when I had the first 6 weeks of 2024, I made over $250,000 in sales just for the first 6 weeks of 2024. Can you see how easy and effortless that gets to be simply because I have so much simplicity inside of my business? I had those two offerings, and if I add on a private mentoring package for $40,000, $50,000, even $25,000, $30,000, that adds up very, very, very quickly. So that is going to be it. I'm not going to dive deeper. I'm not going to overcomplicate things. I just want you to walk away and ask yourself, how can I simplify things so I can very effectively move towards $1 million? I'm not going to get shiny object syndrome and pivot. I'm going to buckle up. I'm going to lock in. I know exactly how to help my people. I know what platform I want to promote my offer on. I'm going to do that for 1 year, and then you will reach $1 million with ease. I really hope this episode resonated with you. Thank you for tuning in week after week after week. I'm so deeply grateful that you are here. My DMs are always open for you. And if you are on YouTube, hello, hi, so nice to see you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for tuning in. And I cannot wait to be back here next week for another episode.